This is Penreese, one of the most deprived towns in the UK. This area was once a titan of British industry, however now this town finds itself with a notorious reputation and is dealing with a number of crippling issues, leading to a wave of shocking news reports such as the once booming UK town that's been reduced to a complete dump full of abandoned homes, and the UK village once called the most holy is now dubbed a mountaintop trash heap ghost town. These are just two of the headlines found after a quick Google search, but there are many, many more. How much truth is there behind the headlines? Today we find out if the notorious reputation Penreese has is deserved, and how this town went from being a thriving beacon of British industry to being amongst the most deprived, not only in the UK, but the whole of Europe too. I've just arrived in Penreese, and the signs of deprivation and poverty are very clear to see. Many of the houses are abandoned and have been boarded up. I believe this once was the community centre for Penreese. It sits atop the hill, overlooking the Rhondda Valley. An industrial-sized laughing gas canister there on the floor, with the balloons to go with it. You can see the total state of disrepair that the old community centre now lies in. It's a very ominous rope hanging from one of the rafters here. You can see the abandoned community centre in the background here. Let's head down the hill into the Penreese estate. There's another laughing gas canister there. And another one there. They must be quite keen on the old laughing gas here in Penreese. That's the third big canister that I've seen thus far. During my research, it did become apparent that there is a big problem with substance abuse and alcohol misuse here in Penreese, amongst many other things. There's another abandoned building here. You can see the metal doors are almost rusted all the way through now. There's an abandoned house there. You can see all the top windows have been put through. All the bottom floor windows have been boarded up. This place really is like a ghost town. I've never seen anything like it. So I've been joined by a resident here of Penreese. So tell me, what was it like when the mines were open here and this was a thriving, booming town? What was it like?
When you go down the valley, is what a mine basically in every village.
Yes, just keep the men busy.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But
am I right in saying that was why this estate was built? Was to help for housing for
alleviate
the
all the housing problems, but when they built it, it caused more problems because you had basically the bad from each valley assembled in one place. Yes,
right.
At first it was going great, but then after the 80s it all started going down.
Penreese means Reese's head in Welsh. Reese was a Welsh leader back many, many years ago, and he was headed just down the hill here from Penreese, and that is where the estate gets its name from. Reese's Head, Penreese. You can see they're racing the motorbikes in and amongst the houses here. See all the abandoned houses and the fellas riding their bikes in and around the estate. You can see literally all of those houses are abandoned and boarded up. Do really? Totally empty. Steel shutters on the doors and windows. You can hear the motorcyclists in the background. And so what sort of impact do you think the closure of the mines had on communities such as Penreese?
Well, literally unemployment.
Yeah.
Mass unemployment very, very quickly. And although there was a gradual decline during the 60s anyway, there was very, very suddenly a turning around.
You can see the state that many of these houses are left in. See all the windows have been put up through. The rest have been boarded over with steel shutters. All of these houses are abandoned. Absolutely nuts. Without your help and the support of sponsorships, these documentaries just wouldn't be possible. I want to say a massive thank you to the sponsor of today's video. I want to introduce you to Exeter, the creators of the greatest wallet that I've ever had. The perfect blend of style and security. One of my biggest bugbears is having a clumpy wallet in my front pocket. Thankfully, with the sleek design from Exeter, this problem is now solved. I fitted all of this in here. With the innovative pop-up mechanism, accessing your cards is quick and effortless, carrying up to 14 cards at a time with a convenient cash clip and RFID blocker for added protection. No more fumbling around, just grab and go. Designed for the modern lifestyle, Extra wallets are slim and stylish. They fit perfectly in your pocket without the bulk, ensuring you look great on the go. Available in a variety of colours and designs, including my favourite, this leather version I've got here. There's an Extra wallet to match every personality and occasion. There's also the amazing security feature. Using the tracker card, you'll never lose your wallet again. Just a simple tap on your phone and you're good to go. Head over to Extra to check out the amazing New Year's sale with up to a whopping 40% off. Plus, using my link on screen now or my discount code JOEFISH, you'll unlock further discounts. Stay safe, stylish and connected and elevate your essentials today with Extra. It seems as if this whole block of houses here has been completely abandoned. You can see the doors, got steel shutters on them now. There's litter and rubbish strewn everywhere. There certainly might be a bit of truth behind the headlines on this one. There are so many houses that are completely abandoned. Much of the gardens are filled with rubbish. The pathways are lined with rubbish either side. This is like a real life ghost town. I've never been anywhere like this before. You can just see the amount of litter that lines the pathways. Here's the shop area. There's an almighty pile of fly-tipped items there. Almost 6 foot tall. See the door there? So this is the shopping precinct for Penreese, certainly showing signs of its age. I believe there's one shop and one takeaway in Penreese. There used to be much more, but now of course as people have left, the businesses have closed.
So when they built it, they realised there wasn't that much of a shortage of people for housing. So they started pulling areas down there which riled up these people then.
Ah, so they pulled their blocks down to bring them over to here.
Well, so I was living in Tyneside for 32 years. I've been up here now for 38 years.
I hate to ask, but it helps tremendously when you like, comment and subscribe. When I film content like this, I want it to go out to as wide an audience as possible. And with your help, we can do that. Thank you. You can just see the whole side of the car park is just strewn with rubbish and litter. It's almost like the area's become one big rubbish dump. Got a big flat screen TV on the floor there. Got a battered out vehicle there. Look at that. You can see the bottom windows have got iron shutters on them. There's an old mattress there that's completely rotten away. You can see it, all totally rusted out. It must have been there for years. The remnants of someone's laminate flooring, carpets, fridge, freezers. I'm just making my way through the Penreese estate now. As you can see, got a sofa on the side of the path there, got another one on that side. We'll just keep heading down. Things weren't always like this in Penreese. Penreese was constructed in the 1960s to house the many miners who worked in the nearby coal mines. These miners were promised a modern utopia. However, there were problems from the start. With the coal industry declining across the UK, many of the people moving into Penreese were unemployed. At times, the unemployment rate was as high as 93% across the community. Once industry left the area, it seems that void was filled by crime, unemployment and deprivation, with these scars still healing to this day. Am I right in saying the last mine closed 1990, I believe?
Last 1992, which was, I think it was 92 or 93, which was Mardi.
So what happened then to communities like Penreese then once the last sort of mine did?
A lot of them travelled away from here.
Did they?
They moved out to the valleys.
You can see an enormous area that has had some sort of a fire taking place on it. All types of rubble and other bits and bobs in and amongst there. You can see there's like babies' nappies and all sorts in this pile here. It's absolutely huge. Must be 30 metres across.
Absolute shambles.
It's very sad to see a once thriving town like this that's now been reduced to a mess, frankly. There's rubbish everywhere. Most of the houses are boarded up and abandoned. This is a real ghost town. You can just see piles of rubbish everywhere. There's another area that's had some sort of a burn up taking place on it. Another pile of rubbish left on the side of the road. A caravan that looks like it's been abandoned there, with an old trampoline. You can see the trampoline behind me, the abandoned caravan, the huge area that has clearly been burnt out. There's another pile of rubbish just over there behind me, onwards down the hill. So tell me, sir, what was it like during the 80s, 90s when the mines were open here?
Well, it was the start of a period of transition. Mines were going downhill.
Yes.
Some veins were drying up, but also coal mining just wasn't the commodity that it was.
Yeah.
You know, people transferring from coal. So I think the writing was on the wall for the industry quite some time ago, probably in the 1950s. Steady decline. So in the 80s we saw the damage in South Wales caused by the mining industry in terms of the pollution.
Yeah.
We had the miners' strike, which
Yes.
was on a political, cultural and social front was very significant too, and in a sense brought things to a head.
Yeah.
And I think since the 1980s, during the 80s and the 90s, I think people gradually transferred to the idea that mining wasn't going to be the central, and industry generally wasn't going to be the way that they made their money. And so you saw a gradual adaptation of service industries coming into the area. It was a very, very slow adaptation.
Yeah.
Hence all the unemployment we had during the 80s and 90s. The silver lining, if you like, is that communities like here are extremely resilient.
Yes,
They've been through all this before.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a certain strength in the society here. Hopefully, we should ride things out until things turn around next time.
Times, mate. I really appreciate that.
Good luck with the documentary.
Some of the main difficulties faced by the residents of Penreese is the lack of employment. Employment in and around Penreese is few and far between. With a town like this being so isolated, many of the inhabitants rely solely on public transport, and the public transport in and around the rural areas of South Wales is very hit and miss. Oftentimes the public transport here can't be relied upon to get you to your employment. The Welsh people are a very proud Celtic nation. They're very resilient as a community. As the gentleman we've just interviewed said, many of these people have seen the rise and the fall, and they've been through it before. Perhaps they make big piles of the rubbish and just burn it themselves. It's almost at every turn that you're greeted with more and more rubbish. You can see another pile behind me that's had another burn up take place on the grass, and then it's been dumped with loads of rubbish and litter. You can see springs from old mattresses there. Can you imagine the size of the fire that would have made? Got the remnants of at least 5 or 6 mattresses. There's numerous burnt out areas like this in Penreese. This must be the 3rd or 4th one that I've come across. This is the old basketball and football court. It's in a total state of disrepair. In fact, there's glass everywhere. You certainly wouldn't want your children playing in this, would you? Amongst all the rubbish, litter, glass. It seems to me that communities like this have almost been forgotten about and left behind. When you see towns like this filled with deprivation and poverty, there's often a reason why. And the reason why is that industry has left the town. And once industry leaves a town, oftentimes that void is filled by deprivation, poverty and substance abuse. And it seems that that has certainly happened here in Penreese. Everybody that I've spoken to here in Penreese has been so friendly. There's certainly a strong community aspect here that clearly carries them through. You can see a row there of houses, totally abandoned, with all the windows and doors with steel shutters on them, closed up for good. There's more there in the distance that are abandoned. I'm assuming this once was the pub, the Penreese. I've never seen so many houses abandoned. Familiar steel shutters of Penreese on all the windows and doors. I'm assuming the steel shutters stop the buildings being squatted and inhabited by homeless folk. More rubbish here on the side of the path. One of the national newspapers referred to Penreese as a rubbish dump on top of a hill. So far I'm struggling to argue with that sentiment. There's so much rubbish in and about Penreese. The more time I'm spending in Penreese, the more I feel sorry for the inhabitants of this town. If this is what you've got to make do with, it must be very, very difficult. Another pile of rubbish on one of the main walkthroughs. There's more there. Oh my goodness. Absolutely loads. Right next to residential properties. Just strewn with rubbish. It looks like a rubbish tip. Let me know in the comments, have you seen anywhere as filled with rubbish as this? It's certainly a shocking sight to see here in the South Wales valleys.
Down with the statue, which is Mary and baby Jesus. That's where Reese was actually killed or beheaded.
Right.
And that's where we get the name Penreese, the head of Reese. Give away Reese to the English king. I can't remember who it was at the time.
So that would have been King Harold then, wouldn't it, of that sort of time?
Around that time it was, yeah.
Yeah, because then he went to Stamford Bridge and he had the war with Harold Hardrada, 1066
that's right,
stuff,
yeah.
isn't it?
Well, like I said, they're all led from that.
That's it, yeah, that's right.
There's nowhere I haven't been in the wrong there.
There you go, man of the valleys, real valley man.
Well, my name, which is Gadwyn,
Oh, wow.
comes from the first king of Wales, which was Gadwyn. Through the years to Gadwyn.
Wow.
So,
Nice to have met you today.
Grwyn.
More Welsh if you tried. Oh, it's fantastic meeting today. When you think of Wales, oftentimes it's the beautiful scenery, the valleys and the rolling hills that come to mind. And I can certainly attest for that. The Penreese estate is set in one of the most scenic spots I've ever seen for a housing estate. Just take a look at the views behind me. For over 1,000 years, pilgrims have been coming to this site to pay homage to the statue that you see behind me. Well, that was the town of Penreece in South Wales. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. I'll see you on the next one.